Hello everyone. So today I am going to discuss about four-stroke engine. Four-stroke engines are the engines in which the piston inside the cylinder moves up and down 4 times. If an engine is to work successfully, then it has to follow a cycle of operations in a sequential manner. And four-stroke engine gives a sequence to the engines on which the engine will work. These engines are of two types, the SI engine and CI engine. The SI stands for spark ignition. The spark ignition engines are those engines in which the combustion phenomena takes place through spark. And in CI engines, the CI stands for compression ignition. In these type of engines, the combustion of fuel takes place through compression. So the difference between SI and CI is spark ignition and compression ignition is based on combustion. So in SI 4-stroke, we have to follow 4 major steps or 4 major process which takes place inside the engine. So first one is so this is the cylinder and this is the piston. This is a 4-stroke SI engine where this component is spark plug. And these are the inlet and outlet or input and output valves, where currently this valve is in open position and this valve, exhaust valve, is in closed position. So this one is open and this one is closed. So this step or this first picture is for intake. In intake step, the fuel is fuel plus air for SI 4-stroke engine is injected from the valve. This valve remains open and the other valve is closed. In this step, the piston moves downwards while the intake process is under process. In the next step of this SI engine, so this is the top dead center of the piston and this part is the bottom dead center. The piston cannot go above this position in the cylinder and the piston cannot go below this position in the cylinder. So in this step, this is compression step of 4-stroke SI engine. In this step, the injected or the fuel which comes inside, fuel plus air mixture which comes inside, is compressed by the piston, because in this the crankshaft have already rotated half the motion or already rotated 180 degrees from the position where it started. Now the other 180 degrees, in another 180 degrees, it will compress the piston and just suppress the fuel air mixture and the piston will come from bottom dead center to top dead center in this step. So till this step, 360 degree rotation of the crankshaft is already taken. In the next step, we have, in this step, compression step, both the valves are closed. inlet and exhaust valve are closed. In the next step, this is the top dead center. So in this step, this is the crankshaft. So in this step, the fuel air mixture is reached here. Now the injector, this is the spark plug. Now the spark plug will produce a spark, and this fuel air mixture starts to burn and the combustion process takes place. So this step is the expansion step. What happens in this step? Due to the combustion of fuel air and through the spark, a load amount of heat is generated and pressure increases. Due to this increase in pressure and heat generation, the piston starts to move downwards. In this compression step, the piston starts to move upwards, but in expansion, the piston starts to move downward. And this step is also called power stroke step of the 4 strokes. In this step only the power is generated by the piston. So in this step, the piston will move downwards and the crank again rotate to 180 degree. Now the last step of this 4-stroke engine is also here. Both the valves are in closed position. So in this step, this is the plug. Now this valve, exit valve remains open and inlet valve is closed in this process. So what happens in this process? This process is known as exhaust process. So in this process, the combustion, due to combustion, the piston comes down. Now since pressure has reduced and the inside has come to below the ATM pressure, so or equal to ATM pressure, so the exhaust of the gases will takes place as the exhaust valve is open. So all the gases starts to move out of the cylinder body, and due to the movement of exhaust gases outside, the piston will starts to come up. So in this process, the piston will travel from bottom dead center towards top dead center, and the exhaust gases will come out of the cylinder. So in this process also the crankshaft will rotate 180 degree. So in the SI 4-stroke engine, the crankshaft overall total has rotated 360 degree plus 360 degree, that is 720 degrees of rotation. 360 degree is taken in intake and compression stroke, and another 360 degree of crankshaft rotation takes place in expansion and exhaust stroke. So in this 4-stroke, the crankshaft rotates 2 times and the piston moves 4 times, and only one power stroke is generated. Now the CI engine work on same 4 principles or same 4 steps as in SI, but in the CI engine the process of combustion is different. So what happened in this method? Let's see. So this is the inlet valve and this is the exhaust valve. Again, this is the intake step in which only air is entered. In this fuel plus air mixture is intake, and in CI engine only air is entered inside the engine and the inside the cylinder body, and the piston will starts to move downwards. The exit valve will close, and the crankshaft will move 180-degree rotation from top dead center to bottom dead center. The next step is compression step, in which both the valves will remain closed and the piston will move from bottom dead center towards top dead center. So what happened in this compression step? In this step, both the valves, inlet valve and close valve, and the exit valve will be closed. The piston will move from bottom dead center towards top dead center, as the crank has already rotated half the distance. So this motion of crank will make the piston to go up by itself. So the air which is present inside the cylinder body will now compress in this compression step, and the compression ratio will be higher in this CI engine. It is about 16 to 20 in this CI engine, while in SI 4-stroke engine the compression ratio is about 6 to 10. So much compression ratio is not required in SI engine, while in CI engine a high compression ratio is required, because the compression will make the fuel to burn itself while the fuel will be injected in the cylinder. In the next step of this CI engine, both the valve again remain closed, the inlet valve and the exit valve. But now, since the piston has reached to top dead center from the bottom dead center, so now the fuel is injected through this plug. So what the fuel injection will do, as the compression ratio is high, so the pressure at this point is very high, so the moment fuel is injected, it will automatically start to burn and combustion phenomena takes place. Due to that combustion, lots of heat is generated and pressure is very high, so the piston will again come downwards, and this step is expansion step, in which the piston again comes down from top dead center to bottom dead center, and the crankshaft again rotated 180-degree. Here also it has rotated 180-degree, so total 360-degree rotation till these two steps. Now 180 again rotation of the crankshaft, and the piston is now coming down. Again the fourth step is the exhaust step, in which the inlet valve is closed while the exhaust valve will be open, and the piston will come down from bottom dead center to top dead center. So in this step, the exhaust gases which was earlier produced in this case will escape out of the cylinder through this exhaust valve. This will be open this time, and this will be closed, and the exhaust gases will come out. So again the crankshaft will rotate 180-degree. So in all, this has taken a 720-degree rotation of the crankshaft. The power was generated similar as in SI engine. The power was generated in this expansion stroke only, or also called power stroke. The only difference is about how the combustion takes place. In SI engine, the spark is produced and the fuel air mixture is burned, and due to this the piston comes downward and power stroke is generated. But in CI engine, the only air is compressed due to high compression ratio, and the fuel is injected, and the injected fuel itself has high pressure, and the fuel injection or fuel spray will burn or produce the combustion effect, due to which the piston will come downward and power stroke is produced. So in this also, crank shaft produce 2 times rotation, the piston moves 4 times up and down, and only one power stroke is produced. So both these SI and CI engines of 4-stroke produce 1 power stroke. Both have similar type of working phenomena or similar 4 steps on which it works, but the only difference lies in how the combustion takes place in both the engines. Generally we see that due to high compression ratio, the weight of CI engine is higher, or the CI engines are heavier than the SI or spark ignition engines. So this is a general about 4-stroke engines. Thank you.